World title runs in WWE are a mixed bag. They can range in length and they can range in quality. For instance, Triple H held a title between 2002 and 2003 for 280 days, whilst world champions such as Christian kept the title for mere days. However, many would believe that Christians would be more deserving.
That he never felt he deserved to even touch the World Heavyweight Championship. How surreal must this be?
Sometimes the decision to quickly make a title change can fit a wider purpose to tell a story and get the talent even more over with the audience. But unfortunately, sometimes this can backfire on WWE in a big way. With that said, here are 5 WWE World Champions who lost the world title almost immediately. Number 5. Christian in 2 days. By the time 2011 rolled around, WWE fans had wanted Christian to have a world title run for a long time. Following an extremely successful run in TNA where Christian was positioned as one of the top stars in the company and had world title reigns to back this up,
and February 12, 2006 is a new day in TNA!
Fans certainly expected Christian to be positioned as a top guy within the ranks of WWE after re-signing in 2010. This world title push would finally come in 2011, but it wasn't what the fans were hoping for. Following the retirement of WWE legend and then world champion Edge, the world title was vacant on the SmackDown brand. This led to Alberto Del Rio facing off against the winner of a 20-man battle royal in a ladder match at 2011's Extreme Rules pay-per-view. This would eventually be won by Christian.
And now Christian has a date with Destiny!
Leading to his first ever one-on-one world title match on pay-per-view against the aforementioned Del Rio. The match involved lots of interference from the likes of Brodus Clay and even a special appearance by the recently retired Edge. To the delight of everyone live in the attendance at the pay-per-view and no doubt millions of fans across the world, Christian finally won the big one and won the vacated world title.
Let's congratulate Christian on finally winning the big one.
Now, fans expected a lengthy reign for the new world champ, and many expected him to fill the void left by Edge as a top babyface on the SmackDown brand. However, on the first SmackDown following winning the world title, Christian would lose the world title to recently drafted Randy Orton. His world title reign just lasted 2 days, although WWE officially recognized the title reign as lasting 5 days due to SmackDown being previously taped on Tuesdays. Fans were disappointed with how Christian's world title run ended, as he wasn't even given a chance from the start. He would go on to win the world title from Randy Orton at July's Money in the Bank pay-per-view, but unfortunately that would last just 4 weeks before he once again lost to Randy Orton at SummerSlam.
A lot of critics question the way Christian won the championship last month at Money in the Bank.
Number 4. Dolph Ziggler, 20 minutes. Wrestling fans often forget that Dolph Ziggler is a 2-time world champion. And the reason for this is because his first reign was such a waste and didn't even last the duration of an episode of SmackDown. Back in 2011, Ziggler was in a feud with Edge over the world title. After several attempts and failures to attain the world title, Ziggler's manager Vicky Guerrero would then fire world champion Edge after she claimed he had attacked Teddy Long.
I am here to inform you. You're fired!
What the hell?
Yeah, it sounds confusing, but unfortunately it gets worse. And then on the February 15th, 2011 episode of SmackDown, Vicky would award Ziggler the world title. Yes, he was just handed the belt.
What an emotional night.
I'm surprised he's not crying.
Ziggler was awarded the world title for virtually no reason, and it was classed as an official title run. To make things worse, Teddy Long would then return to WWE television and reinstate Edge and ordered Ziggler to defend the world title against Edge immediately. Edge then won back the world title,
Ziggler is not ready for that spot just yet.
And in the process, it made Ziggler look like an absolute joke of a wrestler who simply couldn't win big matches. It's unclear what the goal was for this angle, as it simply did nothing for either man, and it didn't leave either man in a better position than when the angle began. Ziggler's reign would officially last under 20 minutes and would be one of the shortest in WWE history. They quickly moved on to build Edge defending the world title in an Elimination Chamber match at the February pay-per-view. However, Ziggler was not included in the lineup.
As you all know, last week on SmackDown, I fired Dolph Ziggler.
Number 3. Jeff Hardy, 1 minute. Sometimes immediate world title changes have been for a wider purpose and can begin a new storyline.
I'll tell you what he's done. He's stolen the damn title.
An immediate world title change starting a storyline can often work, as there is always the initial fan reaction there, whether that be positive or negative. There's not a better example of this than Jeff Hardy's world title win at the 2009 Extreme Rules pay-per-view. Following a fantastic pay-per-view main event, Jeff Hardy would win the world title from Edge in a ladder match.
Jeff Hardy said it was a match that people will talk about for a long, long time.
However, Hardy's celebrations would be short-lived, as CM Punk would cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase
CM Punk has ruined this Jeff Hardy party.
to win the world title for the second time. Sadly, this left Jeff Hardy's title run lasting 1 minute. However, it was one of the smartest decisions WWE could have made. During this time period, Jeff Hardy had virtually become John Cena 2.0. He was selling as much merchandise as Cena and was turning into a legitimate draw, meaning fan investment into his feuds was at an all-time high. CM Punk, following the world title cash-in, would turn heel and would begin a gimmick that revolved around him being straight edge and offering to save people.
None of you realize how much more difficult it is to live the life that you all live.
The CM Punk Jeff Hardy feud had real-life details, such as references to Hardy's personal demons, that made it so perfect, and this extended beyond the world title to become one of the greatest feuds of the modern era.
Don't learn from history, are doomed to repeat it. Did you ever hear that in school? No, probably not, because you were a screw-up then, too.
This is the single best example of an immediate world title switch working for the greater good. If clear plans are in place and the story in question is good, it can really work for the wider benefit of everyone involved. Number 2. The Big Show, 45 seconds. The late 2011 featured one of the most underrated feuds of the modern day. Mark Henry had completely reinvented his character and was now using the gimmick called the Hall of Pain. This is where he was a total badass and he took out everyone from Kane to the Big Show. This coincided with Henry taking it to another level with his promo and in-ring work, so much so that WWE decided to put the world title on him for the first time in September of 2011 when he defeated Randy Orton.
I'd like to welcome all of you to the Hall of Fame.
The Big Show would be Henry's central antagonist in the feud that came about by Henry taking out the Big Show at the Money in the Bank event in the summer.
Don't do this. Oh no! By the God!
It's hard to watch.
The matches the two delivered included some memorable spots, such as a ring collapsing from a top rope suplex spot at the Vengeance pay-per-view. The feud would come to an end at the Tables, Ladders and Chairs event in December of 2011, when the Big Show would defeat Henry in a chairs match to win the world title.
And the emotion pouring out of the Big Show tonight. The new world champion.
However, a post-match attack from Henry resulted in the then Mr. Money in the Bank Daniel Bryan cashing in on a fallen Big Show to win his first world title. The Big Show's run would last 45 seconds and would be the shortest world title reign in WWE history. However, the cash-in resulted in the rise of Daniel Bryan and in turn the ascension of one of the most popular wrestlers in WWE history. And number 1, Randy Orton, Unification. In late 2013, WWE decided to unify the WWE title and world champion John Cena. The change would come as a huge surprise, as there were no hints towards it other than a standoff to close the infamous Survivor Series 2013 event between the two champions. This unification match would result in one WWE World Champion, and the TLC match would take place at the appropriately named TLC pay-per-view. Orton would go on to win the match, unifying both titles. Orton would then be referenced as the last ever World Heavyweight Champion in WWE history. The win didn't really have a lasting impact, as just 3 years later, the belts would once again split when the WWE created the Universal title in place of the World title. Now, Randy Orton of course didn't lose the world title per se, but its unification did signify the end of the belt, as it didn't last anymore, so in a way, it was kinda lost. But there you have it guys, 5 WWE wrestlers who lost the WWE World title immediately after winning it. If Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.